If you act in a cold-hearted, degenerate way like the red pill YouTubers will tell you to do, you're literally just filtering out the non-cold-hearted, degenerate women. So soon enough, you end up just having a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now,
yeah, chivalry's dead, Hamza, chivalry's dead.
Who's gonna bring it back? Do you think the women are gonna bring it back for us, or are we going to do it first? And here's the thing, if you start acting more chivalrous, if you start acting more like a gentleman, you'll automatically start to disassociate with the lower quality women. The only women who are attracted to gentlemen are those that are higher quality. If you act in a charming, gentleman-y type of way, you'll start to unattract the degenerate women who are only attracted to their degenerate fathers, like in the same type of familiar love that they experience. That's a win-win. We never wanted those women in our lives, because I was in that degenerate party scene and my purpose was to fuck. And obviously there is not high quality people in that type of scene. Fuck this bullshit of like,
oh, we just want to have fun, I'm putting on it. Like, no.
Like, no. Low quality people go into the party environments. And you have to know that all of the advice that you've gotten from the red pill YouTubers, like obviously like I still consider myself a red pillar in a sense, but now that I rewatch their videos and I've taken a step back from this culture of casual sex and being a degenerate, going to parties, hooking up with like little stinky little girls from like Tinder and everything, but I can tell you right now that none of the YouTubers who you watch online who give you advice on dating and pickup and stuff, I'm telling you right now, none of them are attracting like a good woman. They're all attracting these type of like low quality little party thoughts. There's no real benefit to attracting a girl like that. It's the exact same as masturbating. It's like the masturbation version of sex. You're both mindless, you're both just fucking brain dead when you're sleeping with each other. You're using each other's bodies to masturbate. It is instant gratification. It's just simple pleasure. And when you start to learn about mental health and trauma, childhood abuse, maybe you'll eventually get therapy, you really visualize like this sad fact of this environment. Like there's like two types of people, potentially a small amount of people who haven't went through like a childhood abuse or anything. They're the people who grow up and they don't get into like the rampant sex life. These type of people never binge eat. They never overindulge in drugs. They're the type of people who go out once a year and they have like 4 drinks. Whereas the other group, me and my boys, is the people who've like suffered some type of like, you know, child abuse or something like fucking sickening when they were young. And that shapes our adult relationships. Generally, we're attracted to love that's familiar. If, for example, you're acting in a way that's cold-hearted and it's distance, right? You won't reply to a message quickly. You'll make her wait and everything. The only girls who are attracted to that are the ones whose fathers did the same things to them. The ones whose fathers kept distance away from them. And you go down this pathway of not even respecting yourself. You still get like the hype, like, you know, the lads type of culture of like, oh, you this girl, it's awesome. Your self-esteem lowers. You realize like you're not being like a sophisticated person. You're not being like a kind, good man. You're being a degenerate, and there's a big difference. Now, I went on to date one of the girls that I met in this like party degenerate lifestyle, and I ended up fully like falling in love with a girl who I met in this scene. And you know, whilst like we were almost like best friends in a sense, and it was really fun to be with her, our values were just so different, and I wouldn't have considered her to be like a high quality girl. But at the time, to be honest, I didn't even like know what high quality would have been, because all I was surrounded by was the same type of girl who just like took drugs and just went out at night time. Then the issue is that if you are aware of all this, like I was, you don't really respect or truly trust or love that person that you've just fallen for. So I'm somewhat like in a serious relationship with this girl. We go on to live with each other and we're together for like 2 years or so. And throughout all of it, she's spending a lot of money on me. Now, I thought like I was the fucking man for this, right? She's buying me loads of food. I was telling all the boys, like, she bought me Nando's, she bought me like Almost Famous. She'd be like, she's spending so much money, she's spending a student loan on me. And I felt powerful not reciprocating that. So I never did anything for her. I never really spent money on her. I was always like very cheap around her, never buy her anything, even though she'd be buying me loads of stuff. I was never there for her, like even when she was sick or anything, like, and it leaves you in a state of shame when you look back at something like this. One of the things that I really remember was that every time she'd order food, you know, from like delivery or Uber Eats, it'd be outside, you know, the guy calls like, hey, hello, it's Uber Eats, can you come and we're both sat there in the apartments, and it was just, I would make her go a little fucking bit, like I fucking cringe and I feel shameful for this. I would, like a grown ass fucking man with this girl, it's nighttime, someone's gonna go down for the food, you know, it should be both of us, or it should just be the man, in my opinion, like, you know, to be a gentleman. And I just kind of like sit there. It was just a custom, like, yeah, she would go. I had the ego of like,
yeah, I'm the man, and she's like, you know, she's serving me. But honestly,
it was more like I was a little fucking degenerate little bitch who just didn't have the confidence to like kind of say like, yeah, obviously I'm supposed to be the one who goes down, like, oh, you come down with me and everything. Like, I thought I was being alpha by making her go down. So I'd literally be sat there just on fucking Reddit for like 30 seconds, just like scrolling on Reddit or something, like a real weirdo. And I just messaged this girl and I asked her about this, like, how did she feel? Here's her reply. So a while went past from this moment of, you know, like me being a fucking douchebag and just be sat there while she was going down at night time. And I started improving my mental health, and I started to see more of the value of acting like a gentleman and a leader. And so I still saw this same girl girl every now and then, and it just changed. It just seemed so completely normal. I know this is weird for me to just give this huge detailed explanation of like, oh yeah, who went down for the food, but I think it really does resemble my sort of progression into being more of like a gentleman, because at first I felt like a douchebag, but eventually we started going down together. Like I started going down, but it'd be the thing of like, I'm gonna go down, but like you should come with me. And so she'd always like, she just seemed so happy to do that. Like it seemed to put her in like a very like feminine frame when she'd like a little girl, and she'd like walk with me and everything. It made me realize like, why was I avoiding this all this time? I thought that I was being like a big man by almost like forcing her to say like, no, I'm not going down, you like, I'm not doing it. But we'd go down together in the elevator, and obviously you're just kind of like playing around in the elevator, kissing each other and just like, you know, being silly. And it's like, that was like a bonding experience. And so I'm glad that I progressed like this. And if at this point you're feeling uncertain if like trying to be more of a gentleman is the right way, because everyone else is telling you, all these guys online, they're telling you that you should be more cold, that you should be heartless towards these girls because all girls are hoes. Just ask yourself, what would Adonis do? Is Adonis gonna be saying like, oh, women are hoes or something? Or is Adonis a gentleman? Of course he is. Of course he's a gentleman. And when I think back to the majority of girls that I've been with who have been in like that party degenerate lifestyle, and I think about the new sort of gentleman personality, I know that these girls wouldn't be attracted to me. I know that these girls wouldn't be into me. And I think that's a good thing, because if you act in a way that's similar to Adonis, you're acting in a way that a good quality father would have acted to his daughter, to the woman that you want. And so then you're gonna polarize, and you're only gonna attract the girl who's had that good quality father figure in her life. Like that's like the prime thing that we've wanted. We wanted a woman who has all those good green flags, and a really great green flag is that she has a fantastic relationship with her father, who is like a very good man. If she's had that great relationship with a good man of a father, she's gonna be attracted to a man who's similar to him. So how do you actually be a gentleman? To me, it comes from like the black and white videos of like men and women dating, and of course like the man's wearing a suit and he like opens the car door and he like opens all the doors. I wouldn't put my jacket on the floor, the bitch can just step in the water, but like you get the idea. It's chivalry. And again, like there's this new era of like men of like, you know, chivalry is dead. Like it is, but you could be the one to reignite it in your life. And again, it's going to polarize so that the healthy, happy, good quality women who have had good father figures are going to be attracted to you. That's a good thing. With like low quality women who have not had that, it's a good thing that they're not into you. Like let them just go like fuck the like abused guys with each other. Like who cares? Like it's instant gratification. If you want something bigger than that, this is where you go. And so I believe the biggest area of improvement for most of us young guys who, you know, like we're quite modern and we're quite like red pill and everything, is to just simply reduce our sleazy anti-gentleman behaviors. I think it's quite a hard concept to think, okay, how do I become more of a gentleman? I think it's way easier to think, okay, how do I become less of like a sleazy degenerate? Don't be sleazy, don't boast, don't like kiss and tell. And that's a big one. Don't kiss and tell. Don't be like one of those guys who like sleeps with a girl and then like, you know, like proudly kind of like says that shit with like bravado. I did that shit, okay? There was a girl who I found like sexy as fuck. I'm literally not even gonna lie. And I'd slept with her like over a while. So, you know, like once here. And the last time that I ever saw her, I fully like just boasted that I was living with my friend, my roommate Levi. I slept with her, literally went into the room next door and just started like I don't even know what the fuck went on in my mind to think that this was like appropriate or something, but I went in like loudly boasting about it and everything. And of course she was disgusted by that attitude. She was literally like, and in fact I'll just ask her. Yeah, we'll have the video of her.
After it happened, you went into Levi's room, obviously boasting and whatever. I'm not gonna lie, that gave me the ick massively, because I just think, well, you're more bothered about impressing your mate than impressing me. You felt like you had to impress him. It took me a long time to forgive you.
Women aren't attracted to guys who boast about how much sex they have. Now, women are definitely attracted to like high value men who can attract a lot of women and who can have a lot of sex. But it's almost like if you're the guy who talks a lot about it, it shows that it's not so authentic. It shows that you're somewhat new to the game. It shows that you know, it's so special to you that you've got to like boast about it. And it seems to trigger some kind of like primal, innate thing inside of a woman. They fear getting judged. It's just how it is, right? They fear getting judged. They fear being seen as a slut. And if, for example, a woman knows that you talk, she's going to be less likely to sleep with you because it's like a dangerous investment. Do more sophisticated activities. I can't believe for so long the time that I'd spend with girls would be literally just like inviting them straight and like just being sat on our crusty bed watching Netflix or some bullshit. Like that's like you don't seem like a gentleman when you do that. You literally seem like a disabled little boy, like a little spurg who's like, oh, do you want to come like sit on my bed? I haven't washed the sheets in like 2 weeks. Go out to somewhere sophisticated, and you don't have to exactly spend so much money. You could go to like, you know, dinner and go somewhere fancy, but literally going for a walk feels way more like you're a gentleman when you're holding a hand than it does when you've like invited her to your place that just smells like fucking BO. Go out and dine somewhere for dinner. It doesn't even have to be expensive. Like a lot of restaurants are fairly cheap. If, for example, you're going to invite her over and like order a takeaway for like £20, you can go somewhere and like sit inside for pretty much the same price or maybe a little bit more. But it's a huge increase in the experience that you both get to have together. Really, it all comes down to mindset. You are the man, she is the woman. You both have different roles to play. The masculinity and femininity come together like yin and yang. The masculine protects and provides, and the feminine nurtures. So then just think about protecting and providing. Tell her to call you when she gets home safe. Drop her off if you can. Like, look after her. Honestly, I never thought I'd make a video like this, because I think just a year ago I would have been watching this video thinking it's fucking cringe, like why are you being blue pilled and stuff. But I really realized that even if you're red pill, there's so much value in acting like this and becoming that gentleman, because when you envision yourself to be a gentleman, you respect yourself just so much more. You no longer see yourself as like a sleazy little fuckboy who's like, you know, at least this is from my perspective, going on more like sophisticated dates, feeling way more masculine, feeling way more like the leader. It's all just like a positive feedback loop in my personality. Like I feel so much better in myself with this, and it seems like I'm attracting higher quality girls like every couple of months now.